Hello, and welcome back to In-Depth Tours. Today we'll be looking at a crossing that likely won't look the same very soon, and that is the Lyndon Rd crossing on the Union Pacific Geneva Sub east of Morrison, Illinois. Starting with the advanced warning protection, both sides feature modern advanced warning signs with rough crossing signs underneath them. I assume these were installed at a time when the crossing was fairly rough, as it seemed to be in fairly good shape when I was here. The northern advanced warning sign seemed to have been made in 2008, while the southern one was made in 2014. Both sides also feature advanced warning markings in the road. The road itself seems to have been resurfaced sometime in the last few years. Moving on to the crossing signals now. These signals were installed sometime in the 1980s by the Chicago and Northwestern and have received upgrades from Union Pacific over the years. Starting off at the bottom, both signals feature single-sided Safetran bases on concrete foundations, a common trend for C&W installs. Both gate mechanisms are older Safetran ones, with the northern one being the late 1970s style and the southern one being the 1980s style, and both had been recently repainted. Both gate mechanisms also feature GSI gate savers on them, which seem to be pretty common on older installs on the Geneva Sub. As for the gates, they are newer aluminum barriers with NEG clear LEDs on them. This is a bit unusual for older signals on this line, as most replacement gates have 4-inch Ricoh LEDs or 4-inch NEG LEDs. The clear LEDs are typically reserved for brand new signals. Moving on to the lights, both signals feature older 12x24-inch Safetran frames from the C&W days, and they all now have GE dotted LEDs inside of them. These recently replaced Electrotex LEDs, which in turn replaced the incandescent lights these frames originally housed. This surprised me, and you'll see why later. Moving up to the track signs, these are newer signs with a condensed font and reflective striping. I'm not sure who makes these style signs, but they're very common on UP and BNSF. If anybody knows, please let me know in the comments. Moving up to the Crossbucks, these are new Crossbucks that feature a very thick font and are double-sided. These replaced older double-sided Crossbucks seen in these pictures from June of 2020. UP has been using these quite a bit lately on older signals that receive new Crossbucks. So far, however, they have not been used on brand new signals, and in fact, many older signals with these style Crossbucks that have been replaced on this line now have regular-looking Crossbucks. Here are the ENS tags for the crossing. The dot number is 175194S, and since 1975, there's only been one accident that has occurred here, which happened on March 15th, 1992. Thankfully, no one was killed or injured in this accident. Finally, this crossing features one lone bell on the southern signal, and is a GS Type 2E bell. This likely replaced whatever bell this crossing had originally, which was likely a Safetran mechanical bell. Moving on to the relay bungalow, it is a 1980 style Safetran bungalow in the southwest quadrant. This bungalow has the milepost number, dot number, and phone number for the crossing. However, for some reason, it only says Lyndon and not Lyndon Rd. The grade here is all concrete and seems to be in fairly good shape, despite the rough crossing signs seen earlier in the video. It's evident that some of the pads were moved around at some point, as some of the outer pads have center lane markings on them, meaning that they were originally in the middle of the road. Here is a track view facing west towards Clinton, Iowa, with Feldman Road seen in the distance. And here's a track view facing east towards Chicago, Illinois. The wayside signals in the distance protect the crossovers known as CP Lyndon. If you've noticed in many of the shots in this video, plus in my other videos covering this crossing and many others in the Morrison area, then you'll see the conduits surrounding the crossing. UP is in the process of installing brand new signals here as part of a larger project that has seen many crossings on this line being completely replaced. This crossing is actually not as far along in the process as other ones around Morrison, as this is the only one that has not yet received a brand new relay bungalow yet. I'm not sure why, as other crossings in Morrison have had new bungalows now for well over a year, while this crossing still hasn't gotten one. In any case, UP will likely replace these signals sometime this year or next year at the latest, and will be one more step in removing CW era equipment from this line. This is also why I was very surprised to see this crossing get GE dot LEDs, as they were installed after the conduit was already here. UP has a tendency of doing this with crossings soon to be replaced, so I can't be too surprised, but still. Well, this concludes this look at Lyndon Rd. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and let me know if you'd like to see more videos of this style. And if you'd like to see pictures of this crossing from 2020 before the upgrade process started, click the link in the description for the page for this crossing on Mike's Crossing site.